Hey everybody, Jim here, Goin Solo. This project is almost finished. The first two phases are complete. There was pre-production, which included writing the song and arranging the song. And arranging the song includes deciding the style in which it's performed, the song structure, how dense or sparse the instrumentation is going to be, the types of instruments used. And then there's also deciding how it would be engineered, which would be making choices regarding how to record parts and what equipment to use in order to generate the type of sound wanted. And then there was production, the physical process of performing and capturing all the parts of the piece, keeping the intended result in mind every step of the way. Well, now it's time for the post-production phase, where a whole bunch of little things are done to transform the raw material into the intended finished product. Now, in the high-dollar music world, with people that are actually famous, the artist is largely done at this point, and the producer is taking the studio recordings off to other people that specialize in the rest of the things that need done. But not in this situation. I will be doing all of these things myself as well. Everything that has happened up to this point in the vlog has produced the following.
The phone will ring, say they can't hold on. And all those years I've done nothing to ease the sting, said I can't go on. With each call, these four walls are getting closer by the minute. Can't please them all when your heart is never lit. Can't live your best years inside a prison cell. Just 'cause some choose to be shackled doesn't mean you.
Kind of sounds like a bunch of instruments and singing recorded in a closet, doesn't it? The drums sound like cardboard boxes, to be quite honest. Well, that's because everything is in mono right now, which, if you remember, that's center. Everything is coming equally out of both speakers. Unless you happen to be inside of a closet yourself, or are in a cardboard box, or a soundproof room, or have earplugs in, your ears are never in a sound environment that's as dry as this recording is. We need to give this recording a space to happen in. It needs to be mixed. And then it will leap off the page, so to speak, and it will sound lively and real. Before getting to mixing, though, this episode is going to show off two other little details: editing and comping. Now, with the editing, I'm just making sure that all of the random noise at the beginning and end of the recording is removed for all the tracks, as well as any noises that happen whenever a performance is not actually happening at the time. Now, if this wasn't done, I could be playing a beautiful acoustic guitar introduction for a song with the squeak of the drum stool in the background as I sit down, or the sound of me clearing my throat getting ready to sing. All of those unwanted noises need to go, and here's a quick example of that. So here, as an example, is a song idea from a long time ago, probably 3 or 4 years ago. Considered putting it on the album, but it didn't make it. And here is, let's see, it's got guitars, bass, drums, and a vocal. And just listen to this real quick.
Been checked out since I pulled in. Got bigger things on my brain. Feigning interest in what I'm doing, but the clock is driving me insane.
You might not have been able to hear all that, but there was actually quite a bit of noise in that vocal track. Let's solo that out so that that's all you can hear, and we'll zoom in on this just a little bit and listen to all of the unwanted noises.
Been checked out since I pulled in. Got bigger things on my brain. Feigning interest in what I'm doing, but the clock is driving me insane.
There was a very large breath right here. So we're going to zoom in here, and we'll delete that breath just before the beginning of that. So going back to the vocals episode, this is way too high for my voice. Singing that entire song 3 or 4 times would just wipe me out. Now, sometimes if it's contributing to the feel of the recording, you'd leave breaths in there. I guess it would be up to artistic interpretation. I prefer not to have them because, once again, due to that lack of vocal training and writing songs too high for my vocal range, I'm gasping for breath sometimes when I'm singing these. So I like to delete that stuff. So we'll delete that breath. We'll see what else we got.
Been checked out since I pulled in. Got bigger things on my brain.
Yeah, sounded like I was fighting something that day. That didn't sound too good, and then I cleared my throat.
On my brain.
So we'll delete that entire section right there. Between those two passages. Goodbye.
Feigning interest in what I'm doing, but the clock is driving me insane.
I'll probably delete that breath as I was letting go of that note too.
What is time?
We got a little breath there.
Why does time never go by this slow when you've got nothing but time to kill?
Same thing there. We'll get rid of that. By itself, those cuts sound quite abrupt as the reverb stops and everything. Take a listen.
Been checked out since I pulled in. Got bigger things on my brain. Feigning interest in what I'm doing, but the clock is driving me insane.
However, in context with the rest of the song and the rest of the music going on, you do not notice that, and now it actually sounds very clean.
Been checked out since I pulled in. Got bigger things on my brain. Feigning interest in what I'm doing, but the clock is driving me insane. Why does time never go by this slow when you got nothing but time to kill? Wanna bust out and start this show, but the seconds are stand still.
A nice, clean, and edited vocal track. Now, multiply that action, start to finish, for every track of the entire song. Now, the other cool thing in the digital recording age is comping. That is a term that's short for composite. Remember how I've mentioned several times that each part of the song is recorded multiple times? Well, that's because there's a super simple way to pick and choose parts of the recording performances and combine them into one composite. For either fixing a mistake or choosing between a few alternate ways of playing a part, here's an example of that. All right, to explain comping pretty simply, here is a little guitar part that I have recorded. Check this out. Okay. Now, like every other part in the song, I have recorded this multiple times. I've actually recorded it 3 times. That was take 1. Here, check out take 2. A little bit fancier than the first one, but there are a couple little rough areas in there, a couple little mistakes. Now, here's take 3. That was an okay take. I think I like take 2 better, but I did actually nail the 2 parts that I missed in take 2 in take 3. So here's how you make a composite or a comp. We have 3 different takes. In Logic, I can actually pick and choose different parts of these takes to make one take. So let's go back to take 2. Let's listen to that one more time. There's the first little mistake right there. And that part wasn't played that great either. So I can actually go up here. That little part right there. I'm going to click and drag, take 3, and select that part. And the same right there. And now we have this. Now, there's one little artistic thing I'd like to do. If you remember the first take, it was not as fancy as these other ones, but I did kind of like the beginning that I played. I can actually go back and snag that too. And now we have this. Versus this. I think I'm going to keep that. So now that I've done all those selections, this is my composite take or my comp. there's a comped passage. Whether it be deciding between 3 or 4 performances, trying to figure out which one has that right feel, which one's the one, or maybe a decision to play it differently off the cuff down the line, or just fixing a mistake. Either way, a great option to have in the bag. Now, multiply this action by every track of the entire song, start to finish. All right, now that everything is cleaned up and ready to mix, it'll be loaded fresh into a brand new session in Logic, and the magic is now ready to happen. Next time on Goin Solo.